This is a Jet 24, Fox 66, your Erie.com special report.
Interrupt programming this afternoon to bring you the latest on those shootings this morning at Erie High School. The Erie Police Department at City Hall today with the Erie School District officials holding a press conference scheduled to start this afternoon at 4:30. City officials are expected to comment on the situation today. We do know one student was shot, said to be in stable condition. And here, let's go live now to City Hall.
All right, good afternoon. I'm Deputy Chief Mike Nolan of the Erie City Police Department. We want to update you on the incident that occurred at Erie High earlier today. At 9:22 a.m., the Erie School District Police transmitted a shots fired call at Erie High. Following Erie School District protocol, Erie High went into immediate lockdown. Within 90 seconds of that dispatch, City of Erie police officers were on scene and entered the building to stop the active threat. City of Erie police officers located a gunshot victim who was being treated by an Erie School District staff nurse with apparent non-life-threatening injuries. EMS was requested, and the student was immediately transported to a hospital and is currently in stable condition. The City of Erie police officers were directed to the last known location of the shooter and initiated an active shooter protocol attempting to locate the suspect. Additional officers arrived to the scene and security footage was reviewed, which confirmed that there was one suspect and that suspect left the premises immediately after the shooting, prior to the officer's arrival. Additional officers were still inbound. Some of them were diverted to search for the suspect in the direction that the suspect fled. Additional officers responding did set up a perimeter around the school and joined in a systematic search of the entire building. All off-duty Erie police officers were contacted to respond to the scene. Numerous agencies also responded to the scene, including but not limited to Pennsylvania State Police, Mill Creek Police Department, Erie County Sheriff's Department, Probation and Parole, county detectives, multiple federal agencies, the Erie School District Police, Emergicare, Perry Highway, and the Erie Fire Department. Following Erie School District's protocol, Erie High staff assisted Erie Police with a systematic dismissal of the students. Throughout this entire incident, the Erie School District was actively notifying and updating students' families via one call and on social media. The assistance of the Erie High staff was vital to a timely and safe evacuation of the building and resolution of the situation at the scene. We also want to thank the Blue Coats for assisting in reunification of students with parents upon their dismissal. This is an ongoing investigation, but what we've learned so far, we're confident that this was an isolated, targeted incident and not a random act of violence. A suspect has been identified and juvenile allegations have been filed. Because of the age of the suspect, we are unable to provide any further identifying information. We can confirm that both the suspect and the victim are Erie High students. Suspect is currently not in custody, and multiple agencies are actively involved in the search for the suspect. We will update the public and the media as new information arises.
Can you give us the ages of the victim and the suspect, and is there a relationship? Are they cousins?
Cannot release any identifying information of the suspect or the victim at this time, and any relationships are still part of the active investigation.
What about a motive? We're hearing this might have stemmed from an adult situation outside of the school.
we don't have enough information to put that out there at this time. We're still working on. This is very early in this investigation. We have identified a suspect, and we've consulted with the district attorney's office and the Erie School District, and we can't release any additional information at this time.
Where did the shooting take place? Was it in a hallway, a classroom, a bathroom?
It was in a hallway.
Was it between periods or during? I guess were there a lot of other students around when this happened?
I can tell you there were other students in the vicinity. I am not sure at this time if it was in between classes or not.
It did not take place during the change of classes.
We spoke to a few student parents from Judge 24, and I just wanted to know, there was a focus to center around what maybe future safety protocols might be in place. I guess this would be a proper question for you. Just wanting to know, will there be metal detectors in the future or anything?
We're working on a plan to safely return our students to school. Right now, we're off at Erie High through the end of the week, and next week is spring break. Once we have that plan put in place, we'll communicate it to our families and students.
Dr. Bleer, did you have metal detectors at the school at one point? And if so, why were they removed if you did?
We've never had metal detectors at Erie High.
But you have wanding students? Do you wand students occasionally? How does that work?
Yes, we do wand students that do come in at the late door every day, and also do random wandings as well.
And those procedures are what you're going to look at, whether you need to keep them off or change them?
That's correct.
I do have one question, I guess for you. The weapon in use, do you know what type of gun that was?
It was a 9mm firearm.
How many shots were fired?
Not confirmed. I have an idea, but we need to get some more information to confirm that.
More than one?
More than one.
And was the firearm recovered?
No.
No, okay. And then with the charging, juvenile charges, is there a possibility that this would be a Fisher Bill case?
No, due to the age of the juvenile, Fisher Bill would not be appropriate.
So you have to be 15 or younger then, right?
Correct.
So
Under 15.
15.
Yes.
So you've identified the shooter. Have you talked with his or her parents? Are they cooperating?
We have had contact with family. I'm not at this point able to discuss the outcome of that conversation, but we have not located the suspect yet.
Any other, I know Erie High is going to be off. Any plans for the other schools in terms of security or, I know you're going to have counselors at EPD, but anything with security at the other schools?
Yes, certainly the officers at the other school are aware and are going to be extra alert to any issues that come up. We are also, while we were off, deploying the officers at Erie High to some of our other buildings for extra security.
How many more officers?
Matt?
There are 4 officers in Erie High will be reassigned.
Dr. Lee, any message to the parents who are upset about this, and how is the school district going to handle this moving forward?
Well, we need a few days to put together a plan to safely return students and staff. We're looking at a number of different adjustments to our safety protocols and procedures. As soon as we have that information, we will communicate it with our families and the students.
In regards to the victim and the suspect, are you able to identify the genders of either? Right.
I'm not comfortable doing that at this point. It's not really relevant to the incident. But so. All right. Any other questions? Last one. We'll get one more in, and then we're gonna call us quits. Anybody?
I just have a question about, are you going to online learning? There were supposed to be classes the rest of this week, right?
We're allowed to do a certain number of Act 80 days. They're kind of like snow days. So we did that through the end of the week. Again, we need a couple of days to evaluate how to safely return the students before we put out a plan for the remainder of the school year.
Okay, thank you all. And as I said, we will update public through the media as soon as we have any significant developments. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And of course, a live press conference this afternoon from Erie City Hall concerning the shooting earlier today at Erie High School. Learning some new information today. We did learn that they are aware of who the suspect is, but they have not taken the suspect into custody. They did say that suspect is a juvenile, but could not be charged under the Fisher bill. So that puts the age at above 15, but under 18. So that is all we know in terms of the suspect. They did say that a 9mm handgun was used and that more than one shot was fired. The victim was taken to the hospital, said to be in stable condition. Now, multiple agencies, as we know, responded this morning. We heard from Superintendent Brian Polito, who many parents had told us that they were upset that the metal detectors had been removed from the high school. Superintendent Polito saying that metal detectors had never been in the school. That is something we will check on. People concerned about future security measures. Polito saying that they need a few days to evaluate the situation and see what is best for the students. In the meantime, those students at Erie High School, no more classes this week, no online learning, and then next week, of course, spring break. So it'll be at least April 18th before students return to that facility. They are saying that they are going to work on a plan so that they can return those students safely to school, and is what is in the best interest for those students at Erie High. Still no details on the victim or the suspect in terms of age, alleged relationships between the two, but they did say they are still searching for that suspect, and they will keep us updated as that information becomes available. We are going to have much more on this story coming up tonight at 5 o'clock in just about 15 minutes. For now, we'll send you back to regularly scheduled programming.
This has been a Jet 24 Fox 66 special report. For ongoing developments, log on to yourerie.com. We now return you to your regularly scheduled program.